Hello, Caroline. It's Desiree. I posted to you earlier in the week, and I've been waiting for you to address the way you have promoted the Hay House Summit, while there are 8 individuals tied to the summit who I have personally found are tied to dangerous or misleading medical statements that could risk the lives of believers, their children, and their loved ones if followed. You claim you are a medical intuitive. Your moral obligation is therefore not to promote or try to or excuse any wrong medical information that is going out at Hay House for your own personal gain. You have seemingly sold your ethics out since the start of your Hay House career, but today I've decided to call you out in a video, hopefully being able to remind you of the ethics that the nuns at Catholic school taught you. Now, I find it rather interesting that you claim there is a sacred, and yet you have not protected human life. There are plenty of skeptic atheists who do not believe that there is spiritual anything, and yet they are the ones who have to try to protect New Age consumers when people like you sell your ethics out. It is rather disheartening when both you, Deepak Chopra, Dr. Brian Weiss, and other individuals at Hay House sell your personal integrity out to promote the Hay House Summit, while none of you warn people of the wrong things that are taught at Hay House. Deepak Chopra has called for a psychiatric evaluation of President Donald Trump, saying that the things that he says are disturbing and that he doesn't seem to know what is true, it seemed, was his implication. But when it comes to his own personal profit at Hay House, Deepak Chopra has never cared what was true. Deepak Chopra was part of the 2015 summit where Jessica Anskoff, who was already dead of her own false teachings tied to curing herself of cancer, was promoted as an expert. Deepak Chopra has not called out any of the wrong medical statements that Esther Hicks has made. He has not called out any of the wrong statements that Lois Hay has said. In fact, Deepak Chopra has promoted Esther Hicks at the Deepak Chopra Center, though I can find plenty of evidence of her giving out wrong medical information. Now, truth has to matter, and it has to matter all the time, and you don't get to sit there and say that you value the sacred, and yet for personal benefit and for fame and speaking arrangements at Hay House, you decide to sell out believers. Deepak Chopra doesn't get to mock Trump University, while Hay House University and Angel University are even more of a joke. I'd also like to ask you, while I'm challenging you to address the wrong medical information that has gone out at Hay House that you have failed to address the wrong spiritual teachings that have gone out there. We have Doreen Virtue claiming that she sees and hears everyone's guardian angels. She claims that she sees the dead in heaven, and she claims to be a Christian. Yet Doreen Virtue has publicly said that there is no hell. She has said there are no demons. She has implied the Christian Science teaching that people have perfect health, and that their illnesses are but illusions. If there is no hell, and there are no demons, we have the entire incredible sections of the Bible invalidated, including the entire book of Job. We also have the situation of Jesus going into the desert and being tempted by the devil. We either have it as a not true story, or we have crazy Jesus. It's one or the other. Now, most Christians accept that if you accept that there is sin, and you accept that Jesus is your Messiah, that he saved you from hell. But Doreen Virtue is teaching people there is no hell. And since you were taught by nuns, and you at one point claimed to be a Christian, I'd like you to please explain to us, if we manifest our own reality, if we only answer to ourselves, what the death of Jesus means. I'd also like to have you please explain to us how Doreen Virtue accepts that there is a God, except when it's not convenient. She doesn't seem to follow the rules, and she teaches in exact opposition to Jesus. Doreen Virtue has said milk, alcohol, dairy, gluten, chocolate. I don't even know how to other things I've forgotten. But basically, the 2 big things that really stand out are that alcohol and meat are low vibration. Jesus Christ one of his first public miracles was turning water into wine, wine that was so good, people wondered why they had saved the best for last. So, by Doreen Virtue's statement, we have low vibration miracle of Jesus tied to the wedding. We also would have low vibration miracles of Jesus when Jesus multiplied the fishes and the loaves to feed the believers who came to hear him speak, and when Jesus literally drove fishes into the nets of his followers and told them that they would not be fishers of fish, but fishers of men now. I would like you to please address how we have people claiming they hear guardian angels of God and hearing the dead and to be Christians and teaching in exact opposition to Jesus Christ, and you don't call it out. You don't even call it out when they encourage people not to vaccinate for the flu, when they give wrong suicide information out, when they tell people stuff that would have their guardian angels be genies in a bottle, answering their beck and call to bring them love, to make them rich. This is not what the Bible says about angels. In fact, Doreen Virtue has said that angels are always positive and loving and light. So I'd like to ask you to please explain Passover and what the significance of the blood on the doorways was to the Jewish people, and what happened to the Egyptian babies who did not have the blood on their doorways, who were firstborn males. Well, they died because angels of God killed them, according to the Bible. We also have Doreen Virtue standing in direct opposition to the book of Revelation, which talks about the fact that there will be angels in the last 10 times who will bring massive death and destruction to the world and to 1/3 of the population. On top of that, we also have Doreen Virtue, while claiming she is a Christian, telling people they are incarnated fairies, mermaids, leprechauns, unicorns, galactic knights, angels from other planets. It's kind of abhorrent to no end that someone who has ever had psychological training to make a buck on vulnerable people is doing that to them. But when I look at the Hay House Summit, one of the things I decided to do was to look at some of the stuff, the information on people I hadn't looked at before. And I looked at the material of one Teal Swan, who claims to also, like you, be a medical intuitive. Teal Swan is telling people not to get vaccinations, it seems. She has also made statements on suicide, that once someone has decided to end their life, the healer cannot do anything. She may have been complicit in driving more than one person to contemplate suicide. This is rather disturbing for me to find, considering that I left the New Age after watching Doreen Virtue tell a black mother of an actively suicidal child that people who talk about suicide don't do it. Now, I know you make quite a bit of money by a Hay House and the books and the speaking stuff, but I'm asking you, will you give it up? This is not profit that you have made honestly. You cannot say that you are serving the field or other people while you are complicit in failing to call out that which is stupid, wrong, dangerous, and can kill. Truth doesn't just get to matter when it's Trump or his administration saying whack stuff. There is so much wrong at Hay House that literally there is nothing, I don't think, that Kellyanne Conway that can say that is crazier than some of the stuff that Doreen Virtue, Esther Hicks, and Teal Swan have said. Teal Swan is claiming to be an incarnated Indian guru and half alien, and you are funneling your fans to her. So, I'm not asking too much for you to address what is true. I'm not asking too much for you to address the wrong medical statements. And the wrong medical statements that have been at Hay House have been happening for a very long time. Atheist skeptics for decades have been calling out the wrong stuff at Hay House, not realizing most of it was tied all to Hay House. They didn't realize that author after author that they were calling out that Oprah was promoting were all tied to Hay House Publishing. And now we have Oprah's spiritual guru at Hay House not calling out the wrong stuff. Now, I'm asking you, will you make a commitment to serve for a change beyond yourself? There is no contract that Hay House Publishing can enforce against you that makes you have to be quiet while they promote things that risk human life. They didn't put a gun to your head and make you promote the Hay House Summit. And they can't make you promote their products or their services when they have consistently promoted individuals who put out information that can kill. You can't say you value human life and that people are sacred, and yet when it personally profits you, turn away. I mean, they have a fake university that's more crazy and ridiculous than Trump University, Hay House University. And Dr. Brian Weiss has participated in it, and James von Prague has participated in it, and I think Christiane Northrup has participated in it as well. We have Hay House authors sitting there at writing events selling would-be spiritual authors up for the fraud, the seemingly fraud scam of Balboa Publishing. Huffington Post has written about what a scam the Balboa Press game is. And yet we have spiritual authors, and I believe that you have participated. I'm not quite too sure at this exact moment because I'm a little stressed out making this video. But I know that Dr. Weiss's daughter has participated, and James von Prague has participated in helping set people up for the Balboa Press scam. I know that it might seem like a lot, that I'm asking you to give up illicit gains that you have made doing the wrong thing. But this is the path that serves your soul, this field, and other people. You cannot expect that at the end you will not answer for all of the times that you turned away from doing the right thing for personal profit when you knew stupidity was being taught, when you knew that there were wrong things going on. And you cannot tell me that it's in love of Hay House either. Lois Hay, when she dies, is going to have to answer for all of the times that she promoted people and didn't give a frick if what they said was true. And God knows Reed Tracy's soul's not benefiting by every lie he promotes. So, Caroline, if sacred exists to you in any form, please start living it. Do the right thing. Leave Hay House Publishing, expose the wrong things that are going on, and address with your fans why you were quiet all these years. You can't tell me that you're not helping set other would-be spiritual authors up when you participate at Hay House in keeping quiet when wrong things happen and you don't call out what's wrong. Reed Tracy, I'm suspecting, is expecting all of you to be complicit and quiet, but how many of you Hay House authors would think it would be okay if the person who worked on your car, who knew that something was wrong, didn't out that if you'd gotten your car you might die? How many of you would make excuses if your doctor or the pharmacist knowingly let people put you in harm's way or in danger for their own personal gain? For too long, the Hay House establishment has been promoting a truth that they don't even care what's true. It does not serve any man, woman, soul, or mind to be part of a New Age truth that doesn't even care whether it's true. And love is certainly not being quiet while people are encouraged to things which can mislead their lives and kill their children. So Caroline, please do the right thing. Remember him? Remember the nuns. Remember what you used to believe. Even if you don't believe in Jesus anymore, you know full well that you as a medical intuitive cannot be leading people to what can kill them. There are 8 speakers tied to the Hay House Summit who I have personally seen the evidence of are tied to wrong and dangerous medical statements. Caroline, just leave Hay House and do the right thing.